Hello Year 7, it's Mr. Gore here. I'm just making this video to help explain to you, using some of my daughter's toys, how we move from the Tudor period to the Stuart period. So, just as a quick recap of what we've looked at before, we have studied Henry VIII. Here he is, I have him as a turtle in my video. He rules from 1509 to 1547. He sat on the throne as the King of England. And when he dies, the throne passes to the only surviving male heir that he has. He has 3 children, Mary, Elizabeth and Edward. But as Edward is the male, he becomes the king first of all. Edward rules from 1547 until 1553. He dies when he's 15. And as he's not married and doesn't have any children, the throne passes to the eldest of his sisters, or the eldest of Henry VIII's remaining children, Mary, who becomes Mary I from 1553 until 1558, when she also dies childless. Now, this means there is only one remaining Tudor who can take the throne, who is Elizabeth, and she becomes Elizabeth I from 1558 until 1603. Now, Elizabeth doesn't marry, she doesn't have any children, and this is a problem because when she dies in 1603, as you can see, there are no more direct Tudors to pass the throne to. So what we have to do is to trace the family tree back to work out who's going to be the King or Queen of England. Now, Henry VIII is actually one of 4 Tudor children descended from Henry VII. And if we go across, he actually has a sister. Well, he has 2 younger sisters, but the elder of the 2 sisters is a woman called Margaret Tudor. Now, she marries into the Stuart family. She marries the King of Scotland at the time. That's what this gold band represents. And at this point, the Tudor family and the Stuart family join, but because Margaret Tudor is the woman at this time, she gives up her surname and therefore becomes Margaret Stuart, and becomes the Queen of Scotland. Now, they have a child who is also named James. I've kept the Stuarts as bunnies. So we have James V, who rules from 1513 to 1542. So by the time we get to 1603, when Elizabeth is dead, he is also dead. James V has a daughter, Mary, Queen of Scots, who rules from 1542 until 1567. Now, she is forced off her throne in 1567. She dies in England in 1587. So, at the time of Elizabeth's death in 1603, the King of Scotland is James VI, who then becomes James I of England. So that's how we get from the Tudor family over here. The throne is passed all the way through the Stuart line to the surviving Stuart, who is on the throne of Scotland, and he now becomes the monarch of England as well. This happens in 1603, and he remains the king of both countries until 1625. Now, James is probably most famously remembered for the Gunpowder Plot of 1605, the attempt to blow up the Houses of Parliament. But we are particularly going to focus in our unit of work on his son. And now when James dies in 1625, the throne passes directly to his eldest son, Charles, who will become Charles I in 1625.